Today we're going to be reading It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Every fall, the leaves on the trees turn brown and fall off the branches. Pumpkins grow big and plump in their patches. The air grows cooler and people start to think about their Halloween costumes. And every fall, Linus writes a very important letter. Dear Great Pumpkin, Linus writes, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. I will hope you bring me lots of presents. Who are you writing to? Asked Charlie Brown. The Great Pumpkin, Linus replies. On Halloween night, the Great Pumpkin rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through the air with his bag of toys for all the children. Linus's sister Lucy isn't happy that Linus is writing to the Great Pumpkin. You'll make me the laughing stock of the neighborhood, she complains. But Charlie Brown's sister Sally doesn't think Linus is crazy. She thinks Linus is wonderful. He is her sweet baboo. Would you like to sit with me in the pumpkin patch on Halloween night and wait for the Great Pumpkin? Linus asks. Sally is thrilled. I'd love to, she tells Linus. Later that day, Charlie Brown has a surprise waiting for him in the mailbox. I've got an invitation to a Halloween party, he exclaims. Lucy thinks the invitation must be a mistake. There were two lists, she tells Charlie Brown, one to invite and one not to invite. Charlie Brown knows which list he was probably on, but he decides to go to the party anyway. On Halloween night, everyone is planning to go to the party except Linus. My blockhead brother will be out of the pumpkin patch making his yearly fool of himself, Lucy grumbles. She can't understand why Linus would choose to miss out on all the fun that Halloween has to offer by sitting around in a pumpkin patch. Everyone puts on their costumes. Lucy is dressed as a witch. Charlie Brown is dressed as a ghost, but no one can tell what he is supposed to be because he has some trouble with the scissors. Sally is also dressed as a ghost, and so is Schroeder. They figured out how to use the scissors just fine. Pigpen is dressed as a ghost too. Everyone can tell which ghost he is because a cloud of dust surrounds him. Snoopy walks by, also dressed in a costume. Who in the world is that? Asks Lucy. He's a World War I flying ace, Charlie Brown explains. Now I've seen everything, Lucy says. Lucy declares that everyone will go trick-or-treating first and then go to the Halloween party. As they pass by the pumpkin patch, Linus sees them and gets excited, thinking they have come wait with him. Have you come to sing pumpkin carols with me? He asks. You blockhead! Lucy yells at her brother. You're going to miss all the fun just like last year. Here, don't talk like that, Linus cries. The great pumpkin will come because I'm in the most sincere pumpkin patch. Oh, good grief, Lucy explains. She marches off with her friends. It looks like no one wants to join Linus in the pumpkin patch to wait for the great pumpkin. Except, what about Sally? Sally is torn. She doesn't want to miss out on the fun of trick-or-treating at a party, but Linus is her sweet baboo. What should she do? Sally runs back to the pumpkin patch. I'm glad you came back, Linus tells her. You'll see the great pumpkin with your own eyes. Linus is positive the great pumpkin will pick this patch. Why wouldn't he? Could a pumpkin patch be more sincere than this one? Sally hopes Linus is right. Meanwhile, the rest of the kids go trick-or-treating. Tricks or treats, money or eats. They yell at the first door. Everyone compares what they got. I've got 5 pieces of candy, brags Lucy. I got a chocolate bar, exclaims Patty. I got a quarter, says Violet happily. I got a rock, says Charlie Brown sadly. And that happens at every door. All the other kids get wonderful treats like candy, gum, and popcorn balls. And Charlie Brown gets rocks. Lucy decides they have done enough trick-or-treating and it's time to go to the party. After all, everyone has a bag filled with to the brim with treats. Everyone except Charlie Brown. He has a bag full of rocks. On their way to the party, they pass by the pumpkin patch again. The kids laugh at Linus and Sally for waiting there instead of coming to the party. The great pumpkin will be here, Sally yells, defending Linus. After the kids walk by, Sally turns to Linus. All right, where is he? She asks. He'll be here, Linus assures her. I hope so, no, Sally replies. Think of all the fun we're missing. And the Halloween party is a lot of fun for everyone except Charlie Brown. At first, Charlie Brown thinks his night is looking up when the other kids ask him to be the most model for the jack-o'-lantern. That sounds like a great honor, but then he realized that being the model means having Violet draw a big pumpkin face on the back of his head. Meanwhile, in the pumpkin patch, Sally is growing tired of waiting for the pumpkin patch. If anyone had told me I'd be waiting in a pumpkin patch on Halloween night, I have said they were crazy, she complains. Just then, she and Linus hear a rumbling noise. They see a shadow emerging from the pumpkin patch. It's the great pumpkin rising up out of the pumpkin patch. Linus yells. He's so excited to see the great pumpkin that he faints. But it isn't the great pumpkin after all. It is just the World War I flying ace on the way back from a very important mission. Linus wakes up and Sally asks, "What happened?" "I was robbed," howls Sally. "Halloween is over and I miss Halloween is over. Wait for the great pumpkin." Linus falls asleep and later that night Lucy comes to bring him home and tuck him in his warm bed. The next day, Charlie Brown tries to make Linus feel better. Don't take it too hard that the great pumpkin never showed up, he tells his friend. But Linus doesn't feel let down. Just wait until next year, he tells Charlie Brown. I'll find the most sincere pumpkin patch, and I'll sit in that pumpkin patch until the great pumpkin appears. The end. Now we're going to be reading A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving, and Charlie Brown's friend Lucy can't wait to celebrate. "Charlie Brown, I'll hold this football and you kick it," Lucy says. "You can't fool me," says Charlie Brown. "I'll come running up and you'll pull the football away like you always do. But one of the best traditions is a Thanksgiving football game," says Lucy, "and the most important part is the kickoff." Charlie Brown thinks Lucy will let him kick the football if it's a holiday tradition. He runs toward the football, but she pulls it away again. Later, Charlie Brown is talking with his sister Sally and his friend Linus. "Why should I get thanks on Thanksgiving?" Sally asks. "I haven't finished eating my Halloween candy yet. Besides, all Thanksgiving does is make more work for us in school." Linus disagrees. Thanksgiving is a very important holiday, he explains. Ours was the first country in the world to make a national holiday to give thanks. Sally sighs and stares lovingly at Linus. Isn't he the cutest thing? Linus just rolls with his eyes. What are you gonna do on Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown? Sally and I are going to our grandmother's house for dinner, Charlie Brown says. As soon as they get back home, Charlie Brown gets a call from Peppermint Patty. My dad said I can join you for Thanksgiving, she says. I don't mind inviting myself over since I know you kind of like me, Chuck. Charlie Brown tries to explain that he is going to his grandmother's house, house for dinner. But Peppermint Patty keeps talking over him. By the way, I told Marcy and Franklin about a big turkey dinner you're having so you can count three for dinner. Peppermint Patty has invited herself, Marcy, and Franklin for dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm not even going to be home. Charlie Brown groans to Linus. Charlie Brown has an idea. You can have two dinners. Cook the first one for your friends and then go to your grandmother's house for your family for the second one. But there's one flaw to Linus's plan. Charlie Brown doesn't know how to cook. All I can make is cold cereal and toast, Charlie Brown admits. Linus isn't discouraged. Maybe we can help, he says. Snoopy, go out to the garage and get a table for the backyard. Snoopy salutes Linus and gets to work. Snoopy and Woodstock find an old ping pong table and they bring it outside. Then Snoopy sets up chairs around the table. Lawn chairs, beach chairs, rocking chairs, enough for everyone. To top it off, they add a pretty tablecloth to set the table and even fold the napkins for each place setting. Now that the table is ready, Snoopy, Woodstock, Charlie Brown, and Linus to start to make dinner and make Thanksgiving dinner. And Linus and Charlie Brown set up toasters and put in slices of bread. Once the bread is toasted, Snoopy butters all the pieces and stacks them on a serving platter. While Linus and Charlie Brown get popcorn, jelly beans, and pretzels, Snoopy and Woodstock disappear for a minute and then they return dressed like pilgrims. Charlie Brown isn't impressed. How can you serve that food in that ridiculous outfit? He scolds Snoopy. The guests will be here soon. Snoopy sighs and reaches for his chef's hat. Soon, Peppermint Patty, Marcy, and Franklin arrived and followed Charlie Brown out to the big table in the backyard. It's time for dinner. Snoopy is about to serve the guests when Peppermint Patty cuts in. Shouldn't we say grace first? She asks. Linus stands up. In the year 1621, the Pilgrims have their first Thanksgiving feast. He begins. Elder William Brewster, who was the minister, said a prayer that went something like this. We thank God for our homes and food and our safety in a new land. We thank God for the opportunity to create a new world for freedom and justice. Amen. Snoopy lifts off a big platter and reveals the feast. Freshly popped popcorn, colorful jelly beans, salty pretzel sticks, and a stack of hot buttered toast. He loads up each guest's plate and sends it sailing over him. Peppermint Patty frowns. What kind of Thanksgiving dinner is this? Where's the turkey, cranberry sauce, and pumpkin pie, Chuck? She asked Charlie Brown. Don't you know anything about Thanksgiving dinners? What blockhead made all this? She throws down her popcorn in disgust. Snoopy pulls his chest down over his face, and Charlie Brown gets up and walks away from the table. You were kind of rough on Charlie Brown, Marcy says to Peppermint Patty. Rough! Peppermint Patty shouts. We were supposed to be served a real Thanksgiving dinner. But did he invite you here, Marcy asks? Or did you invite yourself and us too? Peppermint Patty thinks for a minute. She knows Marcy is right. Right. Marcy, maybe you could go to Chuck and patch things up for me. Marcy isn't so sure that's a good idea. I think maybe you should go to Chuck and tell him yourself, she says. I'll just ruin everything. You go and speak for me. Back in the house, Marcy finds Charlie Brown in the living room looking upset. Peppermint Patty didn't mean all those things she said. Marcy tells him actually she really likes you. I'm just sorry, I'm ruining everyone's Thanksgiving, he moans. But Marcy knows Charlie Brown is missing the point. Thanksgiving isn't just about eating, she says. We should be thankful for being together, and that's what Thanksgiving is all about. Peppermint Patty sneaks up behind the two of them. Apologies accepted, she asks, offering to shake hands with Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown smiles and shakes her hand. Just then the clock chimes. Good grief, Charlie Brown cries. It's 4 o'clock. He and Sally are supposed to be at their grandmother's house for a half an hour. And Charlie Brown picks up the phone and dials his grandmother's number. Charlie Brown starts to tell his grandmother that they'll be late for dinner because their friends haven't eaten yet. But after a minute, he breaks into a huge grin. Everyone, Charlie Brown, Sally, Franklin, Linus, Peppermint Patty, and Marcy, is invited to Thanksgiving dinner at his grandmother's house. Peppermint Patty runs to the backyard. We're all invited to Charlie Brown's grandmother's house for Thanksgiving dinner, she cries. Everyone cheers. After the game piles in the car, they settle into their seats and wave goodbye to Snoopy and Woodstock. There isn't an old song about going to a grandmother's house, Marcy asks. Isn't there an old song about going to the grandmother's house, Marcy asks. Peppermint Patty nods, and all the kids start to sing. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Back at Snoopy's doghouse, Snoopy and Woodstock put the finishing touches on their own Thanksgiving dinner with pumpkin pie for dessert. Thanksgiving is always special, especially when you celebrate it with friends. The end. Okay, that's my. Thanks for watching.